Hello folks. So in this session we'll be learning about AWK utility. It is, or it was, probably at the time was the most widely used utility in Linux environment. It was developed by Ehud Van and Kernighan, hence the name AWK. So AWK is used for text processing. It is used for formatting text inside a file and to do some string operations. So let us see how all of this works. So let us start with the syntax first. So there are two ways to run AWK command. One is AWK, we pass some options, command here only, and a file name. So AWK will see the options, it will run the commands in this file name and it will display the output on the standard output. Another way is to AWK with the -f option, we can pass a file in which we have put the AWK commands so that they all can be executed over the file name which we pass, like this. So let us first see the basic syntax of AWK. To learn that, we will see we have a file items.txt. Here the for AWK by default space is one column separator or a item separator of one record. So if we do AWK and then start with the command in single quote, curly braces open, print $1 comma $2 and curly brace close, single quote close, and we'll give the file name. So what it did was $1 it considered the first column before any space, and after the first space everything was the second column. We can modify it further. We can just use $2, $3 should just display the items, the company name, and we did not put $4, so there is no year displayed here. So there is one variable $0, that means the whole line. So sometimes we need that also, we'll see in our later examples. So whole line it has printed whatever was there in the item.txt, line by line it has printed all the records. Now there is another syntax, as we learned, that we can pass a file which has some command. So let us see. Okay, so we can create a file and in that we can put the commands which we want to run through AWK on a file. So right now we can see command.awk has this syntax, which is actually a AWK syntax, and this we want to run over the items.txt file. So we will do like this: awk-f command.awk and then the file name on which we want to process this. So here the command which we have put in this file says pick the all the contents of second column and print them after the string item, then print a tab with the /t, then print the string year, and then print the column 4, which is the year numbers. Let us see how it works. So our original file was like this: items.txt. The second column was car, TV, bike, like this, and fourth column was year numbers, 1960, 1990, like that. So this is how it has worked. We passed a file command.awk using -f, and then we pass the file name over which we want to operate this. So these are the two basic syntaxes for awk. Now we will see some more examples. We have seen how this $0 works for a complete line, how this $1, $2 represents different columns. So first we will see the file. We know $1, $2 represent different columns like this: $1, $2, $3, $4. So with the power of awk, we can interchange the display of the column. So let us see how we can do that. Okay, awk single quotes. Now if I put $4 and then $3, $2, and then the file name. See, so we printed $4, which was the last column having the year. Then we print the company name, and then we printed the item as $2. So we changed the sequence of the fields using the knowledge that this $1, $2, $3, they have the different fields. Now let us see one more example. Okay, we use the position count as $1, $2. We can use a pattern also, and if that pattern matches, the awk will print those lines for us. So let us see how that works. Awk, the start of code will give a pattern matching like 199. Okay, so wherever this pattern matches, those lines should be printed. If I don't give anything to print, the default is the complete records. So here if you see this 1995 computer Apple matches and TV Sony, these two records only matches this 199. So these two will be printed. So this is how the pattern is matched and printed using the awk. Moving forward. To see more examples, first we have to see there are different kind of variables, or we can say the environment variables for awk, and using the man page of awk, I put them into a file, the variables which we will be using for our session right now. So the first variable is fs, that is the field separator. So the default field separator is a space. So whenever there is a space, it will consider as a different column, but we can change that. Let us see how. And as you can see, with -f we can change the default field separator. Let us see how that works. So we have a file. Here you can see the different columns are separated with a pipe. So here if we want to print this column with $1 and this column with $2, by default command it will not work because there is no space. So let us see how. Print $1, give us $2 from core models file. So it did not just put year and the make, it has put whatever was there before the first space. If you want to change this default condition, then we can specify, we can do that by specifying the field separator to -f like this. awk -f should be capital, in double quotes we'll give pipe, then we'll start the awk command print $2 $3 single quote close and then file name. So here it has understood now that pipe should be the field separator in all the records, and then $2 means the make, $3 means the model, like this. So this is how we can change this field separator variable. Now let us see next variable, number of fields NF, the number of fields in the current record. So that means the number of columns when we read a line is assigned to the variable NF. Let us see how. We have a file city data like this, and it has comma separated different fields. 1, 2, that means 3 fields here. 1, 2, 3 fields here, and the line with Paris has only 1 comma, that means 2 fields, and San Francisco has only 1 field. So this we can use in our awk command. First I will give field separator as comma, because we know that comma is the field separator here. Then print NF. So every record it will read, and for every record whatever is the number of fields it will print to us in the standard output, like this. So when it read the first record, it saw 1, 2 and 3. Because of comma, 3 fields are there. In the second record, because of comma, 3 records are there again. In the third line, 1 and 2, only 2 records, and then in last line only 1 record was there. So how is this useful? This was the basic way just to tell how NF works. There are usage for this. Let us see one of them. So we have a file called huge file, and it has too many lines. Now suppose we want to print only those lines which have words which has more than 6 words in a line. Only those lines we want to print. So NF, we know, stores the number of fields. That thing we can use as a if condition, like this. Starting with the awk command, NF greater than 6, print. By default it will print the whole line, but now it will print only those lines where the number of words is more than 6 from the whole file, like this. So you can see out of the whole text file, only those lines were chosen to be printed which had more number of records. We can change the condition again here. We can print those lines which have exactly 6 words by using equal to operator, like this. So we can verify 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So all lines where the field number of fields were 6 were printed. So this is how NF variable is useful. Let us see what is our next variable. NR, that means ordinal number of current record. Okay, so it's not always possible that your text file will have a record number at the beginning. We can have files like this also. Okay, so there the NR variable helps us to orderly number those files, those records. We'll see how. We can do awk print NR, that means the orderly number of that record and then complete record or any field which you want to print. $0 will print the complete record, and then the file name. Here it is. So our original file had just the names and NR. Putting the NR in the print statement got us the orderly number of those record. So this is how the NR is useful for us. Let us see what is next variable. OFS is the output field separator. That means when we are printing to the standard output, what should be the field separator? See, we have file names. By default, when we do a cat, the field separator is a space. Suppose in some condition we want to put a pipe or some other character in between two different fields, then AWK uses OFS as the output field separator for that. So we can use OFS in AWK, single quote OFS equals to, I have to give a character, let me, I will give a tilde operator there, and then we can give any character here, it doesn't matter, for it will be just the output field separator for us now. And then the file like this. So by the default output field separator is always space, which we can override by giving OFS a value like this. Okay, so which is our next variable after output field separator? ORS, the output record separator. So by default output record separator is new line. That means the what will be separating different records when it is being displayed in the output. And it was said that the default is new line because we know every time when we run a AWK command, all the records are displayed in different lines because the output record separator, that is ORS, is new line. We can change its value also. So first we'll see the file content, and now we will use AWK ORS to change the output record separator. Start the command ORS equal to, give a character hash. So instead of new line, all the records will be separated with hash. We have to give it in double quotes, then print $0, that means the complete record, and then closing by single quote and the file name. So instead of them being displayed in new line, these are all been separated now with a hash. So we can give any output record separator like this. So this is how all these variables work for AWK. Okay, moving ahead. Before we end the session, I just want to show you how our AWK programming language actually works in the field, where we have a complex filtering to be done on the file. We need some string processing. We want to format a text, how all this works. So for that, I just created a formatter.awk file. So AWK always has these three sections. First is begin, where we can initialize some things in this begin block, and then the processing would be in the middle section here. So what I'm doing is, in the begin section I'm just printing the file contains following lines. In the middle section I'm doing some operation. I'm just putting the ordinal number of that line and just print that line, and I've created a variable total which I'm incrementing every time when we read a line, and then at the end I am printing end of file and then total number of lines, and then after this double quotes and comma I'm printing that variable which I have incremented every time while reading the file. So once we have this file, we can use this file on different files. We don't have to type this whole awk commands again and again. Let us see how. Awk, I use -f, and then I will give the formatter file name and then the actual file name where we want to do this operation. See, so it has first printed the statement which I printed in the begin statement. Here we can initialize some variables also, like ORS, OFS, all those variables also we can initialize in the begin block. Then our processing with NR, we are printing the number, the record, the complete record, and then we are incrementing a variable which we are not using every time, but at the end, when in the end block we printed end of file, total number of lines here, and then we printed the actual variable here. So this thing we can use on some other file also. Let us see if there is any other file which has, okay, so car lyrics. So there is a big file which has 48 line numbers. So if you see, first we, from begin statement we printed this, the file contains the following lines, then all the lines with the ordinal number, and at the end of file and total number of lines 48. So this is the use case where we can create a file which can be used by the AWK again and again on our different text files. So this is how AWK works. Thanks all folks.